emotional connection with other people in order to survive. Like if you have a baby and you don't pick up that baby and rock that baby and hug and kiss that baby, which you wouldn't think is a basic human need, that baby will die.
Wow.
And it's weird that we think that as you get older, that just goes away, because it doesn't.
All right, guys, we got MJ here. We are going to talk breathwork and a bunch of fun spiritual stuff. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, power of breathwork. Underrated tool, right?
Extremely underrated.
I was just talking to you off camera about how I used to do it every day. And when I have anxiety, sometimes I'll pull it out of the bag and instant relief.
The studies that we have on breathwork for anxiety, depression, asthma, addiction, they're fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like off the charts successful. And it's something that's, you can do it at any time. You don't have to carry around all this biohacking tech or buy all these pills. Like, I just love how simple it is and how it's a built-in mechanism. So, I love to use the example of supplements, because some people think, oh, I want to relax, so I'm going to take GABA or I'm going to take magnesium. For some people, that's going to work really well, but not everyone needs it.
Yeah.
Breath work, because it's built in anatomically into our physiology, there is no person on the planet who would breathe in a certain way, say in a parasympathetic style, who wouldn't feel more calm afterwards.
So it works on everyone?
Everyone.
Wow.
There isn't a person out there.
That's crazy. You could rarely say that about any medicine, any supplements.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things like, if if they're bipolar, there's certain breathworks they can't do, or if you're pregnant, like there's contraindications to some techniques. But say we're just talking about a very simple technique, like inhale and then slowly exhaling. Every single person can do that, and it will extend their lifespan. It will make sure that they feel more calm. It can set you into a parasympathetic state. So that's going to be your rest and digest. You're digesting your food better. You're getting better nutrients. Your body's going into healing mode. Like, you're going to sleep better. It's amazing.
That's fascinating. So there's actual studies on the extended lifetime with breathwork correlation?
I have not read a study that shows that breathwork in particular is going to make you live longer. However, we know that if you don't breathe properly, which 95% of people don't, they're mouth breathing or they're shallow breathing, that can create disease. So we can infer that if you're not breathing correctly day to day, you're not going to live as long.
Yeah.
The ideal way to breathe, just for anyone listening and they want to know right now, you breathe through your nose, 6 seconds in, 6 seconds out.
In and out of your nose. So you never breathe out your mouth?
No, I try not to.
Wow. I'm guilty of that.
You go to mouth tape.
That actually works?
Yes.
I used to do it at night, but I need to start again, I guess.
Yeah. I know some people rip it off when they're sleeping, but you got to try, because mouth breathing is one of those things where it's going to chronically dehydrate you. It's going to put you into, a sympathetic state. It's going to ruin your oral microbiome, which we know can be linked to Alzheimer's, heart disease.
Yeah. There's whole books on power of breathwork, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Breathe by James Nestor. That's like the one
Love
everyone
that
brings up.
book. If you want to get into the asthma, you could read Patrick McEwen's Oxygen Advantage. He's got a bunch of books, but that, in my opinion, is his best one. It's life-changing.
When I was a kid and someone had asthma, they were taught there was no cure. You'd be on an inhaler your whole life. So now there's some new stuff with the breath work.
Yeah. So he does something called breath holds. So almost the opposite of breath work, because you're not breathing, but it's still considered a breath work technique. You hold on empty.
That's similar to the Wim Hof method, right?
Yes. For him, you're breathing in a certain style where you're going to put yourself into a sympathetic state. It's very invigorating, and then you do a hold. I don't remember Wim Hof if you hold like on full or empty. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think. So you do the 30 breaths and then you hold after that.
Yeah,
I
think you hold on full.
Okay.
Oh, after the last exhale?
Yeah, because you do 30 breaths, and on the last one, I think you hold on that one, right?
Okay.
I haven't done it in a few
me
months.
neither. But it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because both styles of breath holds are incredibly beneficial. I always say, if you feel like you don't have a good lung capacity, do both. I prefer holds on empty. Just when I think about the anatomy and the physiology, it makes more sense to me, because you're working with carbon dioxide at that point. Most people have what's called a low carbon dioxide intolerance. So they can't hold their breath for very long. And that's going to trigger your amygdala, and it's going to make you feel fearful all the time.
Wow. That happened to me at first when I started the Wim Hof. I can only hold my breath for like 30 seconds. I had to train my way up to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Wow. That's really great.
Yeah. But most people, similar story. They start that thing and then most people can't even do a minute.
No, I couldn't. So I was doing something called a bolt score. You're holding on empty. And at the time that I was doing it, I was marathon training. So I was in like the best shape of my life. I did my bolt score and it was extremely low. And I was like, how does that make sense? That I'm so physically fit. I have good mitochondria. I have a good VO2 output or a good VO2 max. But I have a terrible score of like my breathing. And I think this is just my own personal theory. I've never done a study on it, but I think what happens to some people is your body can get stuck in a trauma response and somatically you just breathe. You hyperventilate almost all the time.
Wow, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. It is pretty scary because what happens when you're hyperventilating is you're telling your body you should feel anxious and stressed all the time. And I think a lot of people just get caught there.
Yeah.
And which I love breathwork because you can use any of these techniques to be like, well, maybe that's me. Maybe I have trauma and it's making me breathe a certain way all the time. It's making me feel anxious all the time. I've got, tension in my fascia. I feel uncomfortable. I always feel, I'm just not in the present moment. Breathwork could be the way out of that.
Yeah.
Which is so amazing.
Have you had a spiritual experience like that where it just felt like a lot of trauma was released?
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't cry for about a decade. My background is I had a horrible first 25 years of my life.
Wow.
That's
a long period of time.
My life. I know. But, when I was 4, an intruder came into my school when I was in kindergarten and I was sexually abused.
Damn.
And I know it sucks.
At 4?
And then when I was 8, my dad...
The Tri-Light from Therasage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Tri-Light from Therasage and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared from 580 to 980 nanometers. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
I was like addicted to opiates. He beat my mom all the time. My brother and I saw it was just I had to call the cops on him and like put my own dad in prison.
Jeez.
And then when I was 9 was the first time I tried to kill myself. Because why wouldn't you? It's terrible. And then I got a little bit older. My mom got me and my brother away from my dad. We moved to the country. My brother died in a car accident. Then my dad relapsed again and then he killed himself. So it's been like shitty thing after shitty thing. That was the first experience of my life. And then I just shut down. Like I think anyone who's listening who has had it doesn't even have to be that traumatic. It could just be like you were bullied or you weren't invited to a birthday party, something, or your parent just didn't connect with you ever. That's all trauma. And I think I just emotionally shut down. Like I didn't know how to feel anything. And I did breath work and I found myself accessing emotions like grief or sadness or anger that I'd never let myself feel. And you would think that it would be bad or feel bad to feel those things, but it actually felt incredibly liberating. Like I was like, there's a freedom here because I'm feeling these things. Like say I'm feeling this grief for my brother that I lost or my dad, but underneath all that grief was actually love. Like all the love that I wasn't allowing myself to feel because we think that we can block out the bad emotions in life. I don't ever want to feel stressed. I don't ever want to feel angry or sad. But when you block out bad emotions, you're actually also going to block out the good ones because you can't selectively block. You're either going to be shut down or not. And you have to stay open to all of life.
Wow, that's deep. I never thought of emotions that way, but you're right. Because I went through a period too where I was on antidepressants and stuff. And I wasn't just blocking out the negative. I wasn't happy at all.
You were just numb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you cannot experience the like elation or the joy without also being completely raw to the like sadness and the grief or the anger. I think if you want to be present in life and be in a relationship with reality, you just have to experience everything.
Yeah.
And, I have my notes here that shows that if you don't let yourself feel, you're setting yourself up to be more likely to get cancer, chronic inflammation, 35 times more likely to die at a younger age, Emotional suppression is statistically like smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Jeez. It's that damaging?
It's horrible. It's horrible for you. But nobody's talking about it because everybody wants to take a cold plunge. Which is amazing too, right?
Yeah.
Cold plunges are amazing. But at the end of the day, Harvard had the longest running study, 80 years, I think even longer now, the Grant study. And it showed at the end of life, what was the most important thing in people's lives?
Relationships.
Exactly. And what was the thing that caused people to live the longest?
Relationships.
Exactly. And what do you need in order to have a relationship with someone?
Emotions.
Yes, yeah. You have to be emotionally available.
Yeah.
If you have no emotional intelligence, say you don't know how to know what an emotion is and don't know how to express it in a healthy way, or be present with someone while they have an emotion, you'll never have a deep relationship with anyone.
And that hits deep for me because I neglected that for a majority of my life too.
Me too.
I didn't know how to love.
Me too.
Yeah, it started with my parents, I think, because they never told me they loved me, even though they did, but I didn't know because I didn't hear it verbally, and that's my love language.
Yeah.
And then that just kind of went on in my friendships too.
Yeah.
And dating.
So now with your friends, do you tell them you love them?
I do.
Good.
The first time I told them, it was so uncomfortable. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's important, especially as like, you know, how old are you?
28.
You're 28. So you're a young man. Did you know that they did a study in 2024 on young men? I think they were a little bit younger than you, 19 to 23. 2/3 of the men that they asked said, no one knows me.
Damn.
That's the male loneliness.
I've been there.
Yeah, that's the male loneliness epidemic, right? Like we have statistically, young men, predominantly white men, are 4 times more likely to kill themselves. Why?
That's crazy.
Emotional suppression. They don't know how to feel the emotions that they have or connect with other people. And it's no fault of their own. It's because we're raised in a society where, at least when I was younger, if my brother cried, he was called gay.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you're shamed. You were shamed for having emotions. Not that being gay is shameful. Just the put down that they use at the time. But it is, you know, mostly men aren't allowed to feel emotions.
That's still prevalent today. I'd say it's even worse today because of social media now.
Absolutely. Because you know, young people aren't connecting with real people as much. And then, you know, looking at AI, it's only going to get potentially worse.
Oh, it's going to get worse. There's going to be AI girlfriends.
Yes,
there's going to be AI friends. Yeah, there's already some existing.
Yeah. And she does whatever you want her to do.
Yep.
And she'll never challenge you.
So people are probably going to live less if it goes down that route.
People already live less. Right? That's it. 4 times more likely to commit suicide.
Wow.
Like if you let's look at all the top ways people die in the US. Heart disease, cancer, accidents, which I looked, overdoses are considered accidents. Suicide. What do those all have in common? You can get those diseases or get addicted to drugs because you're not processing trauma and you're suppressing your emotions. Am I saying that every person who's ever had cancer, you know, it's from emotional suppression? No. But we do have studies that show that you are more likely to get cancer if you don't process things like grief and anger.
Wow. Well, each emotion is tied to an organ, right? The Eastern medicine.
In traditional Chinese medicine, yes. I'm going to be honest, I don't know anything about that.
I believe it though.
Yeah.
I've done multiple tests on my body when I'm stressed and my liver is always messed up.
So you have anger.
I think I do, yeah.
What are you angry about?
I don't know. But I'm always stressed. I think stress and anger are probably similar. And maybe stress kind of turns into anger sometimes.
Yes.
And I'm really hard on myself.
Yeah.
So when I'm angry, it's usually at myself.
Were your parents hard on you?
Yeah, but not physically.
Like they just had a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a successful person, right?
Yeah.
When you reach a place of success that you wanted to reach, like a certain, you know, KPI or figure, amount of money, do you feel like, yes, I made it? Or do you feel like on to the next thing, that was nothing?
On to the next.
Yeah, I have that too. And I think it's just, I mean, a lot of it just comes down to parenting. And again, no fault of their own because they're also raised in a society where we don't value emotional connection, right? But that's like, it's really fucked up that successful people feel that way.
Yeah. I just had on a guest and they were basically saying all successful people have trauma.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why they're successful.
I was working with a therapist.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.
He was just questioning me, being like, well, why do you want this? Why do you want to do this book? It's just because I didn't feel like my mom and dad loved me. So it's like, if I can publish a book, if I can, make my business this big, then finally I'm going to be a success to them. But that's not the way it's going to work, right? So I had to re-engineer my entire life to figure out, why am I doing this? And it's, now it's just that I just want to help people.
Yeah. People pleasing is an interesting one. I was guilty of that for many years. Putting others before me, trying to fit in with people.
How did you stop doing it?
I just had to realize it wasn't helping me. It took a while though. I still fall into it occasionally,
Yeah.
I don't know what triggers that, but maybe trying to fit in growing up.
Yeah. I mean, the fear of being rejected is big.
Yeah. That was a big one for me. Fear of rejection, fear of public speaking.
There's actually a doctor, I don't remember who it was, but he was saying people pleasing in general, they see a strong correlation between people pleasing, and it was mostly women, but a strong correlation between people pleasing and MS.
Really? Holy crap.
I know.
I wonder what. So
all of what I'm talking about, these studies, they all fall under something called psychoneuroimmunology. Very legit. It's a branch of medicine. And basically they're looking at how can our emotions, in terms of us feeling them or not feeling them or whatever, how do they affect your immune system? Or how do they affect your hormones? Looking at how does it affect your physiology? And this is relatively new. All the big studies are 2020, 2021, 2022. It's a very new branch, but and they're not huge studies yet, but they're all pointing towards the idea that we as humans, require emotional connection with other people in order to survive. If you have a baby and you don't pick up that baby and rock that baby and hug and kiss that baby, which you wouldn't think is a basic human need, that baby will die.
Wow.
And it's weird that we think that as you get older, that just goes away, because it doesn't.
That is fascinating. So it really needs that love and affection as a baby.
Physical touch, love, affection, connectedness with other people. It's something that you require to live a healthy, happy life. But we never, ever think about it. We always think, if I want to get into wellness, if I want to be healthier, I have to buy these products. I have to wake up at 5 a.m. It becomes a to-do list of things to buy and things to do. When really, I always say to my clients, sometimes it's better to stay up late with friends, eat pizza and laugh. That's healthier than going to bed early, avoiding your friends and waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym. Do I have quantitative data on that? No, just personal experience. I think fun, pleasure, friendship, hugging, all those things are important for a long, healthy life.
There's something there for sure, because when you do study the blue zones, all of them have community.
Yes, they're not eating their meals alone watching Netflix.
Right.
They're eating at the table with a bunch of different people from all generations.
I love that approach, because a lot of these biohackers and people in the wellness space, which is great, I'm part of it.
Me too.
They focus on the physical only.
Yes.
Never spiritual.
Yes. And it's been like a learning for me, because I went through my own healing journey. I had to heal my trauma. I was infertile. I had IBS. I had all these chronic health symptoms. And of course, at first I bought an infrared sauna, and then I bought a PEMF mat, and then I was doing all the weird, freaky biohacking stuff that you get into.
Blood transfusion.
Exactly. I had an ozone machine. I was putting ozone in my butt 2 times a day.
Wow.
Did it help? Yeah. But what actually has helped me is getting closer to nature and getting closer to the people in my life.
You've noticed the most significant changes.
By far.
That is fascinating. Yeah. Grounding just hits different. When you've grounded some fresh grass.
Yeah. Not a grounding mat. Actually,
I tried the mat. I didn't feel anything.
Because it's an immersive experience. You have birds. You know what I mean? You're seeing a cute animal.
Yeah.
The trees are, that's what we're built with. We evolved with that. I'm not against biohacking gear. I have it all and I use it all. But it's a poor replication of something in nature that you may or may not have access to, but hopefully you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think community and purpose are really something people should look into on top of their biohacking things.
Purpose, big time. Gabor Mate said, and I found this so interesting. He's a Canadian doctor who works primarily with people with trauma and addiction.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He's amazing. But he was saying that, a lot of us think of trauma as this event, but to live a life that is outside of your purpose or outside of the life that gives you purpose is traumatic. Think about it, day in and day out. You're waking up and you're going to a job that you don't feel anything about.
Yeah.
Like, that's traumatic.
100%.
That's your whole life too. You're done at 60 and then what? Because you suppressed emotions the whole time, you just die. like you don't even get to like have fun.
Yeah, you can't speak your mind because your boss will fire you.
Exactly.
So there's probably a ton of suppressed emotions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why something like this, where we're super passionate, working on our own schedules, like impacting people, like it feels amazing.
It feels really good. It's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. No, I get messages daily now. And it's like, wow, this is an amazing life. Even if I'm not making as much as like doctors or whatever, I would still probably do this. Like that's where I'm at. I'd rather make less and be purposeful than.
That's the true meaning of success, right? A lot of people think it's going to be something that you quantify. Success is going to be when I hit this number. But if if your wife divorced you, your kids hate you, you don't have your health, what's the point of all the money? Like,
No point.
There's no point.
Yeah.
Like I would way rather, I've built my life in a way where I'm a mom. I have 2 kids. I don't want to not ever see my kids because I'm working. I work 3 mornings a week. That's it. Hard shut off, big boundaries. And I want to be in my kids' lives. So I got obsessed with Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek.
Great book.
Amazing book.
One of my first books I've ever read.
Me too. It like changed my life because it made me think in a different way where it was like, I want to spend my time doing the things that I love. I grew up competitively horseback riding. What do I do now? I go horseback riding.
Love it.
That's just what I want to do. I don't, and I think tech has been such a blessing in that regard. And I hope that people come to realize that so many things can be systematized and so many things can be done in a way where you can have more freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a workaholic. I still am, but like I used to work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day, and thinking that was cool, neglecting all my relationships, my fiance and friendships.
Yeah.
And it caught up to me. My physical health was terrible. Mental health was awful.
You have a fiance. How are you going to ever even be close to that person? Know them, really?
Yeah. No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
We were just living in the same house with roommates. Yeah. That's a common thing these days. I know a lot of people dealing with that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, I understand that some of it's not by choice. People are stuck in a system where, what does the system want you to do? Could be complacent, right? Like it doesn't want you thinking. It just wants you consuming and selling your body for labor, whatever that looks like. And then you work as long as you can. And then hopefully you die so that they don't have to pay your pension. Right? Like it's like
the rat race.
Yeah. And it's bullshit.
Yeah. I'm glad we realized that because our parents really paved the way.
Yeah.
They worked the 9 to 5 and they really wanted me to go down that route, but it wasn't for me.
No, my mom, yeah. It's so hypocritical because my mom, she was a real estate agent, so entrepreneur. But she like cried so hard when I dropped out of school to be an osteopath. And I was like, but it's not my dream. Like it's not my dream. She's happy now. Yeah.
It paid off now, Mom. So you were pretty deep in college. How many years in were you?
I was 4 months out from graduating.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So you were a senior.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, I didn't even have any exams left to do.
So you were pretty much done.
Yeah. But this is the thing, like, and I think anybody can relate to this. I've dropped out of college twice. So I did an undergrad for philosophy. I was, again, 6 months away from graduating. I dropped out because I was like, I don't want to do this because it seems more ridiculous to stop once you've graduated.
Yeah.
In my mind, I don't know why that made sense.
Well, you're so deep in at that point.
Yeah. And I was like, and then of course, once you're an osteopath, that's your career. Like that is your career. And when I was in school, you had to start working while you were in school. And I was like, I do not like this. I'm in an office all day. People just come in and out and that's it. And I was like, that's going to be my life for the next however
40, 50 years.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I liked helping people. And that's what got me to where I am today, where I was like, okay, how can I take all the things that I enjoy in life? I love spirituality. I love anatomy and physiology. I love science. I love reading the studies. What do I love doing? And how can I make that my career? And you could just build your own thing.
I love that you love science and spirituality simultaneously. That's a rare combo to see in someone.
It shouldn't be though, because there's so much intersection. Like we know we have we have so much science on breathwork. That's a spiritual thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have so much science on grounding. That's a spiritual thing.
Right.
We have so much science on, cold plunges, meditation, prayer. Like we have the science behind all of these things that they are so important. So they should just be under the same camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Please unite, guys. I see the communities go at it in the comment section all the time.
Me too. And it's ridiculous. I think, part of the problem that I think, and maybe I'll get hate on for this, but like science has become a religion.
Mm.
People think because there isn't a study on something that it doesn't exist, and that's not true. We only have studies on the things that we've studied.
Right.
But there's so much out there that we have never studied, and we don't know whether it is or isn't. And you have to stay in that unknown. And there's so much science, that's come out as being false. It's ever growing. It's an ever growing process of being curious about the world. So to be a scientist, you have to be extremely open-minded.
Mm.
And you have to stay open-minded throughout your whole career. And I see too many people get a little bit fundamentalist on, where science intersects with politics or where science intersects with their personal beliefs.
Right.
Science is just science. And the studies are just the studies. Hopefully you're going to have a good one, and it's going to have a good amount of people, and it's going to be verified, and it's going to have good people funding it, right? There's so many ways in which a scientific study can be bad. But I think, I don't think I just feel sadness when I see people arguing about it, because a lot of the times they want the same thing.
That's true. I'm a fan of it. My issue when I see certain studies is who's funding it.
Yes, big time.
Because that's where I feel like there's some corruption.
So much corruption. So much corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we've even had people do a study on, say, something like some medicine that they don't want to go to market. So they'll purposefully dose a super low dose and then come out and be like, well, it didn't work.
Yeah.
But nobody's like, a layperson's not going to know the correct dose. So you're going to read it and be like, oh, wow, that didn't work. And then you're going to send it to all your family members on Facebook, right?
Yeah. No one knows the correct dose.
Exactly. Like there's so many ways in which it can be corrupt.
Yeah. And all you see is the headline.
Exactly.
I'd say 90% of people don't even read the article or whatever, or the study.
They don't. So like you could be touting something as the end all be all, but in reality it was done on 5 people, and those 5 people were probably men. So, right? Like that happened with intermittent fasting and cold plunging. Like it came out as being like, everyone needs to be doing this. So a lot of women started intermittent fasting and ruined their hormones. Why? Because the studies were done on men.
Wow.
And it's actually, if someone's in their reproductive age and they're a woman, they probably shouldn't be intermittent fasting.
Really?
Yeah, because our brains are different, right? Like our bodies are monthly trying to reproduce, it's a lot more sensitive to scarcity.
That's good to know, because I was trying to peer pressure my fiance into doing it with me. But I'll give her a reason and out now.
No, I think men and women are both incredibly powerful and incredibly different.
For a reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
I always think, people hate on thinking that men and women are different, but if they weren't, we wouldn't have trans people. Right?
Yeah. That's
like
a whole
they're
nother
different.
podcast.
They're different, and as they should be, and it's beautiful.
Yeah. I was trans in a past life. I did some past life therapy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Have you ever done that?
No, not like good. I did it with woman, and she said I died in a fire. That was it. That was as far.
Do you have dreams of dying in a fire in your current life?
No.
Okay. Because sometimes that's a sign of a past life.
I have dreams of whales and crabs killing me.
So you might have drowned.
I was a pirate.
Or you might have drowned, or you've been a pirate or something in a past life.
That's cool. Okay, what else were you in?
Stressed out businessman who died of a heart attack.
Wow.
There was like 5 or 10 she did. I forget some of them, but the trans one was interesting. I was trans twice, actually.
Wow. When were you trans? Like what?
One of them was in Egypt, ancient Egypt. I have Syrian lineage.
Okay.
So I was a trans performer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you connect with that in this life?
So like a lot of my soul mission is to empower women, actually.
Wow.
So I kind of do, because like I'll post videos about like woman empowerment, and it gets a ton of engagement and views. Makes me feel good.
I love that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I think so.
That's so interesting.
Who knows? It's all interesting stuff. I know a lot of people are probably watching this like, whoa, what's going on right now?
We have a pirate and a trans person here in their new bodies.
I do feel like I have an old soul though.
Yeah.
Like I gravitate towards older people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
They have, I can't remember, I think there was a whole documentary I watched on kids, and they think before the age of 3, children can access their past lives. That's the theory. And there's children who can like play the piano or know that they were a World War II bomber with a plane. Like you have to look it up. It's fascinating.
Is this telepathy tapes or?
No, that's different, but
Okay.
also really cool with the autistic kids.
Yeah.
Telepathic. But no, these kids remember their past lives. They remember who they were. They can point to themselves. They can say the name of who they were.
Wow.
There's one boy in particular who knew he was like a World War II pilot. He was obsessed with planes, and his parents started exploring it, and it turned wild.
Wow.
Even, in my personal life, I was asking my daughter one time about her birth, which obviously she should not remember that.
Yeah.
But she was caught in the birth canal for like a while, longer than she should have been. And she looked at me, she was really young at the time, and she looked at me and she was like, my head was like stuck. And she was like pressing on her head, and she knew.
Wow.
It was wild.
That is
and I was like,
nuts.
how would she, like, I mean, maybe if you're hyper skeptical, she's probably heard me say the birth story, but like to who? I'm like, I don't leave my house. I only talk to my husband. I'm not going to tell him my birth story again. Who's there?
I want to watch that.
You want to watch birth?
No, not that. I want to watch that documentary about the kids.
Yes, you
I remember
definitely
their
should.
past life.
I don't remember. I think it may have been a podcast, but it was really, children are fascinating.
Yeah. I mean, I had one guest, Mateus De Stefano.
I love him.
He remembers all his lives.
Yes.
So I was asking about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite episodes.
I think if I were to guess, I don't think I'm from this planet. I don't think that I've been I don't think I've been here very long, because when I walk around, I feel like everything is really strange to me.
Really? So you might be a starseed.
Maybe. I think,
You think
I
this is
don't know
your-
too much about it, but I'm always like, everything just seems so bizarre. I don't understand why people are the way that they are, or why they're doing what they're doing. And even as a kid, I used to ask my mom, like, why are we here? What are we doing? Like, all of this seems really strange. And that feeling hasn't left me. Like, I just still feel, it just seems so weird to me.
Interesting. Could be your first life on here.
Maybe. Yeah.
So you never get deja vu or anything? I get it all the time.
I don't get it.
It's crazy. Like I get it probably almost every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I feel like I've been doing this task in another life or
Wow.
some other point, alternate dimension. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder what causes that.
You'll have to give me some tips on being on Earth, because
Yeah.
I
I've
get it.
apparently I've graduated. I'm just here on a soul contract this life, but
Wow.
who knows? But yeah, over 500 lives. So I got some experience.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like the spiritual stuff. Do you dabble in psychedelics or you stay all breath?
No, I haven't in a really long time, because honestly, I went to Breathwork and I was like, why do it? But I haven't done ayahuasca. I did acid and a macro dose and a microdose psilocybin. Like these were in my younger years when I was in my 20s. I didn't really connect with psilocybin. I loved LSD.
Really?
I really loved it. It changed my life.
Wow.
It was like, I knew everything was connected, but then once I took acid, I like knew everything was really connected.
What were the big revelations there? Like what did you see connected, I guess?
Everything. Like I saw that every single part of my life happened for a reason. And I'm someone with like a fucked up story, right?
Yeah.
So I saw that like there's no way that I could have gotten to where I am without all of that stuff happening. And all of that stuff, because we think of like, I lost someone. I lost my dad. He committed suicide. That's horrible. But I don't know what the afterlife is.
Right. No one does.
It
I
might
guess.
be something amazing.
Yeah.
We don't even know if death is good or bad. So it just really opened up my mind to my journey, that you shouldn't take life too seriously, and that people really matter. Like the connections you make with people are not on accident.
I do believe everything happens for a reason. Everyone you meet,
Yes.
every bad, every good thing.
Yeah. And you won't, if you're not open to it, it won't happen for you. But I really believe that like things are happening. And once you understand that and start to read the signs, life gets really fun and magical.
100%. That was the biggest shift for me when I made that shift, because I used to have the terrible victim mindset. Like I used to say I have bad luck. Why is this happening to me?
I have a lucky tattoo.
Oh yeah. I love it. And yeah, now when bad stuff happens or if I have a slow month in business or I'm fighting with my fiance, I'm like, this needs to happen.
Yeah. There's a learning there, right? Like I think when, you know, obviously there's some things where it's like, they're just horrible. And I wish that they hadn't happened, or I wish that they wouldn't happen to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
However, we can't control it. So all the choice you really have is what are you going to do afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I could have gone the route where my dad, you know, he was a drug addict. I watched him, you know, abuse everybody in my family, and I watched him kill himself essentially. And I could have chosen to let that be my story.
Mm-hmm.
I could have chosen to let that, you know, give me all these sort of issues where I wouldn't connect with my husband or whatever. I can choose all those different variations, but you do have a choice. And I think a lot of people, that's really triggering to hear, but you do have a choice whether you make your trauma your story or not.
You do, because they're doing studies on twins now and seeing how they change as they get older, and it's fascinating.
Absolutely, yeah. And it's not to say that it doesn't take work. Like you do have to like go through a healing process. But for me, I wanted that stuff to help me impact the world more.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go through something that's really dark, the blessing that comes from that is like, I get messages all the time from people who have been sexually abused.
Mm.
And I know exactly what they're talking about because it happened to me.
Right.
And I know how hard it is to go through the journey of healing from that. So that's a blessing, right?
Mm-hmm. How common is that these days?
I mean, I don't think the numbers are accurate.
Really?
Because most people aren't being honest about it happening.
Because they're not reporting it, right?
Yes, especially men.
Oh, men.
Extremely more common in men than we think.
Mm.
I think for women, the last time I looked, it was 1 in 3.
Holy crap. That's really high.
Mm-hmm.
1 in 3 women.
Yeah, but for men, we have no idea. Just in conversation that I have with men, it's higher than I think we think.
Jeez. That is nuts. I did not know the numbers were that
It's
high.
horrible. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's happening as kids too, which makes it double horrible.
Right.
But yeah, it's like, I look just at my father's life, right? I watched my dad struggle with drugs so much, and he was an amazing person, rugby player. Like he was so tender and sweet when he was sober. And then, you know, I watched him just change and die. And I always had this question, like, what was it? Like, why? Because it seemed like he had a normal life. His parents were together. He had a really loving father. Like, I was just like, what was it? And my mom, I didn't find out till a few years ago that my dad was sexually abused when he was 15.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, of course. Because who is he going to talk to about that? He was raised in the era where like, you don't go to therapy. Don't cry. That's weak.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to talk to his friends about it because they don't talk about anything deep, right?
Damn.
They talk about the Raiders.
Yeah. So he never told anyone.
Never told anyone.
Jeez.
I know. And this is happening all the time. That story is common.
Mm.
Like, look at the suicide rates of men. It's insane. And like, are they all sexually abused? No. But do they all probably have trauma? Yeah. And then there's no place for them to talk about it.
What do you think the fix is for men to open up more?
That's a really good question. My book.
How to cry?
How to cry. But I think that is it, right? Like, I think it is understanding that it's not bad to feel your emotions, right? Like, so I've got the thing in front of me. Mm-hmm. It's good. We know it's good for your body. It's good for your wellness. Like, it will help you live longer. If you're on a longevity path, or if you're on a success path,
yeah,
you have to be emotionally intelligent. It's immensely important. It's going to be really hard to be a successful entrepreneur without it, right? Because it's all connections.
Mm-hmm.
So I think unless you want to lie for your entire life, which I think is not good.
Yeah. No, that's good messaging because right now, because a lot of people care about their health.
Yes.
So you could kind of piggyback off that movement, you know?
That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my hope. But it's not even piggybacking. It's just an aspect that we haven't thought about yet, where it's like, we used to think that our mental health was different than our physical health,
mm-hmm.
right? Those are two different things, but they're not. Your brain and your body are one. And if you have to take care of your mental health. And what that looks like is understanding when you're having an emotion, expressing your emotion, having someone to tell about that emotion. Doesn't mean that when you're angry, you have to punch a hole in the wall. No, that's not a healthy expression. I mean, unless it's your own wall and you just want to patch it up later, do whatever you want to do. But when you have an emotion and you actually just tell someone, you name it and you tell someone, that emotion reduces greatly. It's fascinating. Like even if you're going to cry and you suppress it, the cortisol in your body increases.
Damn.
If you allow yourself to cry, it decreases greatly because crying actually is a form of detoxing. It detoxes cortisol. That's why crying exists. But we like mock each other for it. And, you know, when I was a kid, I was sent to my room if I cried.
Wow. As a woman?
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of women are shamed for crying too.
Really?
You're too sensitive. Think about why we've never had a woman president. They're too emotional.
Yeah. There's studies on that.
They're too emotional, right? Even though anger is an emotion.
A lot of guys can't control their anger.
Yeah. But we wouldn't call them too emotional.
Yeah. We would label it anger issues.
Yeah. It's fine. It's just there's so many weird paradoxes in the world of emotions. But I think at the end of the day, like if I were to generalize, men aren't allowed to feel sadness and women aren't allowed to feel anger. More.
Yeah. I could definitely see that.
But both are still shamed for both. But it's causing disease and death.
Wow. That's nuts. Yeah, I remember growing up, if you cried in front of your friends, they would rip a new asshole apart.
Yeah, it's brutal. And that trains you, right?
It trains you to not cry.
That trains you. I get messages from men all the time saying, I haven't cried in this many years. How do I even do it? And that's why I wrote the book. Like I love breathwork. And breathwork has been a way for me to access my own physiology so that I can express my emotions. Is it the only way? No, there's tons of ways. Right. I think one thing that's made me cry is long distance running. And there's tons of theories as to why.
Tears of joy.
Yeah. Or even the exhaustion theory. Like if your brain gets so tired of blocking you from feeling things, then you just start to feel them.
Right.
But breath work, I mean, we have hundreds of testimonials, thousands of testimonials of people saying, I did the breath work and I like let some stuff go that I've been holding on to for years.
Wow. So they start bawling out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was so trained to not cry. When my dad passed, I was alone in my car. I found out and tears were coming. I'm like, why am I crying? And I was literally fighting tears.
When was that?
This was 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thanks.
Do you feel like you've gone into the grief?
Yeah, but not fully. I'm definitely working and distracting myself.
Yeah.
So I still need to fully get through it. But
yeah. I mean, I lost my dad. I think it's been about 10 years now, and I'm still processing it. You want to hear something so interesting? So I was downtown, really busy, doing school, osteopathy, and then I moved to the country, and I started living a life that was a lot slower and a lot more safe for my nervous system, and everything started coming up. And I was like, this is so interesting. I'm like living the most calm, blissed out version of my life. I'm on the lake, but all this stuff about my dad and my brother and, past is coming up. And I looked it up and it said that when your nervous system finally feels safe, it will start to process the trauma that's happened to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
I was having night terrors. Like it lasted a year.
Holy crap.
But now I feel so much more connected. I don't want to say to my feelings. I want to say I feel so much more connected to my heart. Like I'm able to see people like I wasn't able to before, or connect with a friend like I wasn't able to before. I was almost pretending.
Yeah, I've been there where I'm faking emotions because I'm so numb and so disassociated from everything.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people feel that.
Oh yeah. Now I can feel my real emotions. We're talking like we're crazy right now, but yeah, I'll be watching a movie and I'll actually cry now just naturally,
good.
Which before would never happen.
That's good. That means you're going to live a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what that means. Like I have people message me saying like, oh, I cry all the time. Like, is that good? Like, yes. According to the science, that's amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Well, there's probably a limit to that, but.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get addicted to an emotion. Because that can happen, right? Yeah. Like I always use my grandfather as the example because my grandmother left him for another man. His personality changed after. He was jilted, angry, and he became grumpy.
Yeah.
And then he held on to that story and that became his personality, right? At first it was just an emotion and then it became a mood and then it became his personality. And then he was grumpy until the day he died. And that happens to people. And it's, emotions are a chemical process. So we'll build the receptor for the emotion that you have. The key is to feel an emotion and let it go. You don't want to wallow in it.
Right.
Things are a little bit different and tricky for grief because grief, I think, exists your whole life. However, for most emotions, you don't want to have them all the time. You want to go back to your baseline, which is, I think, joy, at least contentedness, love.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I have a theory that all humans are really, really good. And that when we see humans experiencing or doing awful things, they've just been traumatized.
Agreed. Yeah, love's a big one for me. I think getting dogs helped me learn how to love also. They just have unconditional love.
Yeah, they're so healing.
So pure.
Dogs.
I love them. I want 10 dogs. I got 2 now, so 20%.
Just 8 more.
Yeah, 8 more. Would have cats too, but fiance is allergic. They're not as loving on average.
In a different way.
Yeah, they're more independent.
Yeah, they're more.
Dogs are.
I'm a horse girl. I love horses.
How are they?
Oh my God, they're the most healing animals.
Really?
So there's this saying that cats will look down on you, dogs will look up to you, but horses will look you in the eye. They are mirrors to you. There's such fascinating science on horses too. They can, from 20 meters away, they can sense your heartbeat.
Wow. So they can know if you're stressed out.
Yeah. They'll smell people and they'll be able to smell your pheromones and know exactly the emotional state you're in. And it's, I've been with horses my whole life. I was a horse girl.
Mm-hmm.
And they're such mirrors too. Like I competed show jumping. And if I went into that arena and I was like stressed and my mind was all over the place, my horse felt that and I was going to get dumped off, right? It was just dangerous when you're show jumping. So it's like this level of mind and body control that you need in order to do that, because there's an animal who's going to be a mirror to it. It's a very cool sport, but horses just in general are so cool.
That's interesting. Well, I know there's a horse therapy, right?
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a thing.
How does that work? Have you done that?
I haven't done it just because I grew up with horses.
Yeah, you're probably already doing it low key.
Yeah.
I want to try that one though. I love animals. So
Animals are so healing. I think, to bring it back to the conversation about connecting with other people, there's a lot of people who don't want to connect to another person. That's fine. Connect to an animal.
Yeah, that's a good start, right?
Connect to a tree. Like we have studies on hugging a tree can help you calm down. It
Really?
can boost your immune system. So it doesn't have to be another person if you're not comfortable with people. I understand not everyone is going to want to hug everybody, but you can hug a tree.
I got to try that one out. Well, do you have workshops or events or anything? Where can people get in touch with you?
Well, my book coming out, How to Cry. If you want to learn about all the science of, emotional suppression or how to release your emotions and what it's going to do for your life, get on the wait list for my book, or it might already be published. I'm not sure when this is being aired. And then my Instagram is the best place.
Okay.
It's at Being Method Breathwork. We've got a subscription to do breathwork. I have a podcast that you can go. We've got free breathworks on there if you just want to try it for free. And we also certify people in breathwork. So we're the most science-based breathwork certification that you can do. So if you really want to nerd out on all the science of spirituality, it's all in there. We talk structured water. We talk, photons and mitochondria and all the different things. So
I love it. We'll link everything below. Thanks for coming on, MJ. Yep. Check her out, guys. See you next time.